because I'm starving. I couldn't wait to go home to eat because I'm like starving. But I went to Chipotle today, and I was like, okay, I know if I get a bowl, I'll eat tonight and later. So I'm not about to eat all this in one day. So I'm like, okay, best bang for my buck. Go ahead and get this, right? And I'm like, let me be, real greedy because I'm starving, and get chips and guacamole. But this Chipotle decided, like, don't you hate when you go somewhere and you want to eat something, right? And you expect it to be like regular, but this Chipotle trying to make their chips like healthy or something. Like, it tastes like whole wheat chips. Like, and this one's not even crunchy. It's stale. But anyway, so I posted a video the other day. I'm trying to work on this editing for real, because I found a couple things, watched some videos, see if I can get better. So I'm trying to get better, improve. As far as, it's a horrible angle, but I'm on my phone, so I don't have really anywhere else I can put it. Like what I could say about school and life and everything else, right? So the last video I put was like the leading up to Medsurg Clinical. We did Medsurg I Clinical and all that stuff, right? But since then, I've had community health, mental health, Medsurg II, and we're doing right now, we're doing class right now for pediatrics because we just finished maternal newborn, and then in like, we have another test. So in like a month, we'll be starting clinical for maternal newborn and peds. So how our system is that you're going to have either maternal, like half the class pretty much is going to either have maternal first or peds first. Eating just makes you happy. So it makes me happy. So let's talk about the clinicals that I've done so far, leading up to kind of catch you up slowly, because I wasn't recording. I don't know why. I just got busy, then holidays happened, and then going home, coming back, taking class, and it just kind of happened real quick. So we got a crunch down. So community health, interesting class, very interesting material. The clinical was so boring. Our particular group was set up at a dialysis clinic. It's interesting to learn from the tech side, but from the nursing standpoint, it doesn't really involve very much. It's more like a lot of labs that you're constantly looking over for, blood work. They do labs once a week, see, ABGs and what their potassium is in their blood and everything else. So they do labs frequently, but the nurse's job pretty much is at the station. Every once in a while they bring over the heparin. They might give like a glucose drink or something, but just very minimal work that the nurse is doing that's hands-on. So we had a little bit of a difficult time with that just because it wasn't what we wanted it to be. But we were with the techs a lot, so we got to see the filtration for the water system they have in the back. Daily weights and importance of that. Figuring how much they take off through dialysis. Setting up the computer system to see what their weight was, what you want their weight to be, how much it's going to take off. Constantly monitoring them for their vitals, which you do like every 15 minutes. Dialysis is either like 3 hours. Some people may need an extra session, so they'll come in 2 hours, things like that. So you get familiar with the patients because you see them, for a few weeks, and you're there extended periods of time. So that was interesting, but it just wasn't as hands-on as we would have liked. Mental health was bomb. It's perfect. I had so much fun. We enjoyed it. We were at a state facility, so we got to see I mean, we saw a couple like new patients that were just admitted, but we weren't in that unit particularly where they admit them. We were after they've been stabilized and been there a couple of days or so. So mainly schizophrenia is what we were dealing with. Their med psychotropics, going through their charts, going with them when they meet with their doctor, their social worker, psychiatrist, and then we went with a couple patients to court because they're trying to basically say that they want to go home and they have to figure out whether or not they're stable enough, because here in Nevada it's called a legal 2020, which I'm assuming is kind of the same in other states too, but I'm not sure the exact terminology. But that's basically harm to self, harm to others, or inability to take care of yourself. And if you have one of those three criteria that you meet, you can be admitted to the facility against your will. So in a legal 2020, they do the first like a little assessment or whatever, but it has a time frame attached to it. So from there, maybe they say 4 days. So you're there for 4 days, then you go to court. And at court, you meet with the judge, somebody from the state, and blah, 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 whatever. And then they determine from there, they'll make their suggestions based on the meetings that you've had with your doctors and your care team of whether or not you're stable enough to be discharged and where you'll go to. Whether it's a group home, if it's family that's willing to take you back in, or whatever. So we went and did that. That was interesting. I loved it. We got to go with the patients to like gym, different forms of like therapy, art therapy, yoga, a lot of different stuff. It was great. The particular patient I have, his English wasn't so good, but he was pretty apprehensive to get involved with a lot of things. Like he went to everything because you get tokens for like participation almost, and you use those tokens to purchase things from the store. So many tokens get you a bag of popcorn or a new pair of socks or whatever. And for a lot of people suffering from mental illness, that majority of them are homeless. So they, he really understood that. Like if I go to these things, I could buy shirts and shorts and socks and underwear and deodorant and toothbrush and blah, blah, blah. So he was going to everything, but he was kind of off to the side, not really participating with people. So after a while, I was going to things with him. Not to say that I was the reason, but it was cool to be able to kind of like push him a little bit. Like, you should try it. Maybe you'll like it. You don't know unless you try it. And to see him actually try some new things was pretty dope, because you could see a sense of pride in accomplishing that, something that he didn't expect to be able to do. So that was nice. My first degree is in psychology as well, so it's kind of the best of both worlds for me, for mental health. So I'm really thinking so far that that's what I want to do the most, is like psych nurse. Trying to eat my food. Yeah. That was cool. What else? Medsurg II Clinical. Let's go to that, because we did psych and community health. This huge truck trying to fit in this little tiny parking spot in this parking lot, and they're honking at everybody else. Meanwhile, they're the one holding everybody up. Like, just give it up, man. Whatever. Anyways, Medsurg 2, amazing. We were in ER, ICU, MICU, GI, cardiac cath lab. That's pretty much it. So cath lab, catheters, defibrillators, changing batteries, things like that. Really cool. I'd seen it before in our Medsurg 1 rotation, so it wasn't brand new to me, but it was nice to see again at a different hospital, just to see, different dynamic for the same procedure. GI, hadn't been to GI before. That was really cool to see everything, like colonoscopies and a bunch of different stuff. I'm trying to remember what it's called medically, but it's a swallow test. They think that this person may be having issues with their muscles to swallow, and so they put this tube down their nose, and it's almost like an NG tube. Stick it down, and you give them sips of water every minute for 10 minutes. So you give them a sip, and they swallow, and the tube that you stick down has these notches on it, and it records the vibrations of the swallow as it follows down. So you get to see if their swallowing is working as normal. If not, what part, where in the body it's actually becoming obstructed, or slower than normal, faster than normal, whatever like that. That was kind of cool to see, participate in GI. We kind of started the patient. So we went in there, saw how they did the first patient. The next patient, they bring them back. We've already set up the bed, so their gowns on the bed, bed's made up, all that, right? You explain to them, okay, you need to change your clothes into your gown, put your clothes in this bag, leave your belongings here with your person that's waiting in the waiting room, and then once they're done with that, they call you, get them hooked up, get a set of vitals, start their IV. So we watched the first round, and after that, my partner and I did it. One of my group members. So we were together. So she would take a patient, I would take a patient as far as starting the IV, and then, you know, if I did the IV, she'd do the vitals, and then the next patient we'd switch, like flip it around. So we did that. We get, you know, a couple tries of IVs, got them all started, followed the patient through the procedure. Once they came out, you know, checking them again, let them go, get ready for the next patient, so on and so forth. So we got a little taste of it. Or MICU, it's medical intensive care unit. It's like they're going downhill, but they're not downhill already. Like they're at the top of the hill, like descending. ICU's like they already hit the bottom almost. So they're just not doing well. MICU wasn't, we didn't do that much, you know. Had a patient with C. diff, had to help with a stool sample. I mean, you'll learn. I know it's kind of gross to talk about eating, but throughout school and stuff like that, you don't even care. You see so much, do so much, wipe so much, it doesn't even matter after a while. ER was dope. Oh my gosh, amazing. Faster pace, really hands-on, doing meds, doing IVs, hooking them up for, shoot, why can't I remember the name? EKG. I'm like, what the heck? I know what it is. Okay, so learn how to do the EKG leads. I hadn't placed them before. You read about it in your books, but to actually do it is a little different. So did that. ER setup. So when you first get back, and when they hook you up to an IV, that's rapid. Then from rapid, if they decide that they're going to admit you, you go to like the alphabet side. So alphabet is like 16 beds. So half of that is actually going to be admitted. The other half, they're going to treat you there in the ER. You're going to get better in the ER, and then they're going to discharge you. From there, you go to the other side where they have more like critical patients that are cardiac, and then ICU patients as well. And then that's the side of it coming in from patients that just walk into the ER. The other side is where you have like the ambulance and EMTs bring them in. So that's on the other side. But so our instructor was really good at making sure we got to experience every aspect of ER. Some more critical, you know, different meds that you deal with and things like that for cardiac, EKGs, getting that all set up and all that, getting more comfortable with it, and then rapids. So rapid. And when it was my day, it was the last day of our clinical rotations. I had already planned it out. It just didn't work out in my favor. How I wanted the sequence to be. Like my last day was supposed to be easy. I wasn't supposed to really do that much. When I tell you, it was no joke. We were swamped in rapid. Like at first it was slow, so I was like, okay, it's probably not going to be that bad, which they always say, don't jinx it. Don't ever say, oh, it's going slow today, because then bam, before you know, you're slammed. We're in there. We had some downtime in the beginning, and my nurse was like, you know, I want you to practice muscle memory, because after a while, I mean, it's just practice alone for IVs. And so muscle memory. So she took me down to the cath. We got an orange, and she just had me practice muscle memory, just getting it in, bring it down, level up, level out. Not, you know, anyways, you know what I'm saying. So just the muscle memory of it, just getting it in, slide it in, take it out, like, you know, just getting that muscle memory together. So after a while, we're done. I did like 8 or so practicing, but you know, it was pretty good. Before I knew it, we were swamped. They come in from all sides, ICU, it doesn't have enough beds because patients are just not getting discharged. So we have ICU patients down in the ER, which means that we have less ER beds. So more people are in rapid because they can't be sent to the other side for the beds. So it's like 6 chairs in there. So this person comes in, you have everything set up for them, you read the orders, you see what labs that they're getting, you get the vials out, get them all ready, get their IV started, draw labs, take it over, come back, there's already another patient, you got to get them started. By the time you get their labs sent over, you got to give meds for person in chair 2, and then you get that med out, look at it, and then you find out, oh man, well, person in chair 1 needs a UA, but they just went to the bathroom before you had that order from the doctor, and everything else like that. And before we were just so swamped that they had to bring in another person because I was doing so many patients, she was doing so many patients, we had to get somebody else in there to help us out. We were just swamped, like nonstop. I'm not kidding. Maybe in like 4-hour span, I did maybe like 20 IVs, and that probably doesn't seem like a lot, but IVs, labs, meds, UAs, vitals, checking them, and they're, it's not like they're in the best condition because they're in there, so they're asking you questions. What's wrong? When am I going to get better? When's the doctor coming in? The doctor's coming in asking you questions. You got to know. It was in freaking tense. By the end of the day, I was ready to go. Most of the days, I'm not. That day, I was happy. It was my last clinical day. It was intense, man. But it was amazing. All of our group, we all said, out of every place we went to, we would want to do ER. It's just a good atmosphere. And I think it probably has a lot to do with the nurses we had, because they were amazing. They were very willing to teach, very forgiving if we made mistakes, understanding of all of it. It was just a really great experience. And we were there for such a long time too. We were there for 3 weeks. So, the first week, we're trying to still get a feel for things, but after a while, we know where everything's at. We're good. We got it, get stuff situated. Not like it's perfect, but it's just better than what we were in the beginning, and we were more help to them as time went on. So that part was really nice. I just finished up maternal newborn class. It was a lot because, you have to figure out fundal height and assessing the mom and the fetal heart rate and all this, just new material. And that was cool. Like I said, now we're in pediatrics, which is a little tough just because everything changes in their sequence of age, infant, toddler, preschool, school age, adolescent, and beyond. So everything goes in that sequence. So it's a different set of vitals for everything, different meds for everything, different cognitive abilities, different developmental milestones they should be hitting, different, just that part of it. So far, so good. We have our first test coming up, so wish me luck. But yeah, that's as far as it goes for that. I was home not too long ago in Texas for 4th of July because we had a break off for summer, 1 whole week. Woo! So we went to New Orleans. We were there for pretty much the whole break. That was cool. So yeah, we start clinical for maternal newborn or peds, whatever comes first, but we start that on the 21st of August. So just wanted to update you, let you know what's going on. Have any questions ever, definitely leave them in the comments. I'll respond. But I'm trying to get better at editing. That's why it takes so long. I'm really trying to get better, figure it out. So I watch so many YouTube videos about everything and everyone, and I'm like, I could do this, why not? And then trying to figure it out. So I got a little better, figured out a new system the other day. So I'll be seeing you soon. Bye. You put one little dash on there for that big old nasty slime.